All right, so Coach definitely isn't going to start out with a congrats to the winners. He thinks everybody here is a winner, but sometimes even winners take L's. Coach took a loss tonight. The only reason Coach took a loss tonight was that last fucking field goal, and I knew it was coming before they even got that long bomb. Like, there's no way they're going to cover, like, Notre Dame covering and Ohio State money line. It just seemed like asking too much. Right, and they were right there after they got the touchdown, so we could have been big fucking paid. This was the second best result for our pockets, best being Notre Dame covering in a loss, and then the least profitable would have been Notre Dame winning. Coach wanted Notre Dame to win, however, though, because it seemed to be the easiest to draw connections from for the script, but with the script connections, it does seem like you only need a team in the championship to make the connections, or at least in the conversation of the championship, but yeah, preferably the championship. And the real reason I wanted it was for our Commanders. I really thought Notre Dame winning it would kickstart the conversation of their stupid ass logo, but not the case. The other reason I really wanted it was because then I could immediately place Ohio State into winning it next year, because it certainly didn't feel like they had done everything just to lose a national championship and then go away. I did think they were due within a year's time, but I thought it'd make more sense to get everybody amped up with an Ohio State win right before a Browns loss and Cavaliers loss. Now, as far as notes from the game, so we just minor connections. So I've got one really good one at the end, and I'm doing this all on break, so speed run. LeBron James, James Harden, you got the James connection. LA, we got them making the championship in back-to-back years. We like that the Lions loss in the playoffs was on the quarterback, and it seems like they're going to be replacing some coaches, so that opens up some spots for our boys. Coach is going to take off Buckeyes winning next year. That's done. Halle Berry dies on set is an official coach prediction. She has suffered many, many injuries. They just did a big special about how heroic she is, and she battles through so many broken bones and tailbones, you name it. It's like every time she does a movie, she gets broke. No jokes. So that bitch is dying. And she is also Britney Spears. Halle Berry is Britney Spears. Coach doesn't care what you say. But Coach didn't quite finish his joking congrats to the winners. He does have a real congratulations. Congratulations to Boston Allen. Very happy your team won. It's congratulations to the fans, not the winners. The fans are what matter. We make the sport. We don't even know if the athletes are real, right? Our passion for the game is what makes it. It wouldn't matter if nobody cared. Same with Coach's channel. Your passion for the channel, your dedication, your ability to ride the highs and lows, that's what makes the channel great, right? So Notre Dame lost just like the Yankees. Those are very similar teams. It was a classic matchup, just like the World Series. That's the biggest thing Coach is mad about, is that he didn't see the exact matchup coming. He feels like if he would have been able to work through the Notre Dame stuff starting at the beginning of the playoffs instead of just having a week, he probably wouldn't have been quite as scared. You'll see the biggest clue we have for Ohio State so far at the end, like I said. So Coach wanted to say, so it's funny to him that it's the conspiracy type, it often gets presented as I don't know, kind of like what Coach is, right? Like a scruffy, messy-headed, disheveled, schizo type, right? But usually real pasty, doesn't go out in the sun. But that's funny because Coach always feels like his brand of conspiracy is the Elvis type. I just straight ripped from the black community. I was kind of raised in those types of areas, and I would, when I would hear people challenging authority, when I would hear people coming up with, theories as to what's going on, it would usually be a pro-black angle, right? So Coach immediately thought, when he saw Freeman making some calls that made him crazy, like kicking that fucking field goal when you're down 16, what the fuck are you doing? Also, the fake punt wasn't the worst thing I've ever seen, but I wouldn't have taken the ball out of my quarterback's hands and gotten too cute. I would have just thrown it to my best player, hope something good happened, or handing off somebody, whatever, right? So, of course, it seems like they had to make the first black coach to make a national championship. They had to make him look dumb, right? He had to take the L. So Coach thinks that's kind of the angle there. Notre Dame had 6 block kicks, the most all season. They couldn't get number 7 for the 7 seed. They also couldn't get the 24-point comeback for 1924-2024. But what do you know? Ohio State had a 24-point lead for 42-2024. So, they always get you both ways, pretty much. Like, there's always going to be reasons to fall in love with both. But things like when it's Bucks Clippers, that's easier for Coach to read because he could never trust James Harden. There's no way James Harden's a winner. That's Coach's take. He thinks James Harden's a big fat fucking loser, so he's riding with Glenn Doc Rivers, even though he is typically a loser. He has at least won once, and under optimal conditions can probably be a good enough manager to just not get in his players' way and let them win a championship, right? And he feels like a lot of the reason Doc has looked bad is because Doc can seem like he doesn't care, but that's because Doc only cares as much as the players care. If he has James Harden on the team, he's phoning it in. Right? So that's Coach's take on Doc. Let's get to the good shit here. I can't believe I didn't already have it up. Oh, it's got to be in the photos, okay? So, let's see here. So, LeBron James turned heads with blowout predictions. Certainly was not a blowout prediction like Boston Allen predicted a 45-point win for Ohio State. I knew that wasn't going down. So I'm glad I just at least didn't look that dumb. But not that Boston Allen looked dumb, right? Like, you're a fan, you better hope your team's going to blow them out by 45. And the way Ohio State looked this year, that's probably what I would have been thinking too. Like I said, from a football standpoint, Ohio State was always the better team. But they didn't play a perfect game. We just needed them to play a little bit less perfect. Notre Dame to play a little bit more to win instead of playing not to lose. And so it was really hard for Coach to root for Riley the whole time. He couldn't lie. He liked everything about Will better. Not even the way he was playing, although that was a big part of it, but just who he is. Coach trusts Will Howard as a pro a lot more than he would have ever trusted Riley. Riley reminds him kind of like a Tebow type, right? So, with the Chip Kelly, I was calling him a curse thing, so that could have been a charm as well. Like, it's hard to see Chip Kelly as a charm, but that makes it all more squirrely. The whole thing's harder to read, right? But they do have the Kelly and Kelly thing. Brian Kelly fired from Notre Dame. Kelly hired. And Chip Kelly on Ohio State, apparently you needed a Kelly, right? And then, let's see. And then of course you got like the LeBron James with the Notre Dame thing. You got Dame winning it with Notre Dame. Like, they can still put Notre Dame on without them winning. Everybody had to watch them in the biggest stage. You can't say they're not relevant. They were that close to winning it. It's just, it's Coach is never going to take, I don't know, I can't say never, because I got to just go with instinct. But Coach did know that Trevor was right when he said we had more for Ohio State, but it just seemed like the script was better for Notre Dame. I did feel like our numbers were a lot better with Ohio State. There wasn't a whole lot going on with Notre Dame apart from the 100-year anniversary, right? And we'll speaking of 100-year anniversaries, we'll get back there in a second. So let's see, Chad Powers, created by Glenn Powell. This is a new comedy they're advertising. It's based off Eli characters, Manning, created for Eli's Places, okay? And check this out. So Goodyear was advertising its 100th year anniversary. Coach is fucking kicking himself because he had thought to look this up like 100 times. So they keep advertising during a bunch of games, not just this national championship. But yeah, so Goodyear, it's their 100th year anniversary. What do you know? They're headquartered in fucking Akron, dude. Wow. So Coach thinks, as much as it mildly hurts like the last weekish worth of like script, and we still need to dig a Notre Dame anyway, because we were going to need to make those connections. We just didn't know if it was like for a winner or loser. So it wasn't a complete waste. But anything that may have been, misfocused is all corrected by knowing this. Like, dude, the major sponsor of the game, it was their 100th year anniversary, and they were located in the city of the team that won. There's no way that's a coincidence. How many times have they pulled some shit like this on us? Right? So keep an eye out on, we already knew to look for sponsors, but now we know we don't have to get too cute with it. Just look at the biggest motherfucker on there. Logo since 1968, dude. That screams Ohio to me. 76, 1898, it's 86 both ways. Let's see. 948. All right, we got our 46 and our 48. 689, 86 both ways again. 668. Right? So, definitely interesting. Let's see. The first blimp flew in 2025. yeah, like, what are they going to do it on the actual 100th year anniversary, or are they going to do it, right, like, next year for the 2025, you know what I mean? Like, you never fucking know with these fuckers. So, let's see. Is that all we had there? Okay. So, yeah, that's basically all Coach has. I just wanted to say, at least it wasn't like a complete blowout. That would have just been lame. But Coach had a feeling. Like, it just didn't feel like a game where they're going to come back. But then Ohio State keeps doing that dumb shit where they're, like, snapping the ball with 15 seconds left instead of running out the clock. Like, they're giving Notre Dame just enough time. But usually that's a tell, too. Like, it's like you want the other team to be doing everything right, and you're just, like, doing it better even if it's in a comeback, right? Like, usually teams don't just fall apart. But I really thought, I was like, this might just be, like, a huge, like, if Ohio State's going to lose, they're going to completely fall apart, right? So that's why it was so hard to tell. Right, I was like, oh, they're up a big, but like that's the perfect amount, right? And it's like they're a team that lost, and like neither one of these teams. This was not the best national championship by any fucking means, right? Like in my opinion, like it was nice. It's like old school, all that sort of stuff. But this was beat skis. I would have much rather had. You could swap both of them out. This was just another Yankees-Dodgers to coach. That's why he doesn't even feel bad about missing it. These ain't the type of teams, I promise you. And you know that's for sure. Notre Dame just kind of had a slight whiff of a team that coach might have promised you, right? Like, let's get these guys. It's been a while. Like 36 years, that feels a lot better than 10, right? You know what I mean? So, but at the same time, 10 is just one. So in their world, in coach's mind, that's back-to-back champs for them, or they won it in the same year. Like, you can do it either way, right? It's however they want to run the fucking shit and get cute. Coach feels like he played a great hand here. He really did his best, and he was pretty tuned in for having maybe watched one or two games all season. Like, since I really barely even watched college football this year. I know I watched Indiana, Ohio State. I did not watch Ohio State, Tennessee. I watched Ohio State, Texas. So those were the two games I watched this year. I watched 2 Ohio State games. That's it. So that was Coach's extent of you know how dedicated he was to college football. We never plan on having a pick. I think all things considered, we can definitely feel really good about this season, but only if we really continue to dig in and figure out, like, what did this really just show us? Okay, so we know for sure it was Ohio State, and Coach's gut was right a while ago. Why were we so locked in on them? You know, I mean, we need to go back and relook, and like, where there's some other connections that we started to go down that we didn't finish, right? So we just like that the hands turned over. We like that we've got some green picks on the slips, right? I know there's no way you're on the system and you got nothing on Ohio State, right? So Coach likes that. And oh man, I didn't fucking like screenshot. Y'all did awesome with the comments. I had so many nice comments this morning. So this one's Daniel's. Trevor left a really nice one too. I hate that I don't have that one in here. So yeah, he says, Coach, Trevor's comment about not pushing gematria is spot on. I feel nothing trumps intuition. Besides, gematria is a jaywalker thing. You know, like bankers BS. That's why you need a calculator. Haha. L. Ron Hubbard gives you a breakdown of the numbers and narratives, but never picks. There's only so much of congrats to the winners you can take. There's another YouTube channel that blasts BS. I can't think of the name. I'm thankful I found you and grateful for being on the team. Your work is second to none, and that's a fact. Greatly appreciate you. Happy to be on. Happy there is a team to be a coach of. Coach of none is not a coach, right? You can't coach yourself. I guess you kind of can, but you know nobody's gonna respect it really. All right, so you gotta get in the dirt with some others, and mix some ideas around, and trust each other, and you know make stuff happen, make some magic happen. This was a pretty good run for us on the college football. I'm very happy it's over, mostly. Coach did not like being spread this thin. It was very stressful. I like that we can just focus on the Commanders. I can't imagine the Commanders going down the way Notre Dame just did. Would literally blow my mind. So, didn't shake my faith at all in the Commanders. I guess it kind of makes the Bucs one better, because like the Buckeyes thing, like I said, it just hurts because it's like almost impossible for Coach to pencil Notre Dame into next year. In fact, I can't. They're not the pick for next year. We don't have one. But Ohio State would have been so easy to just be like, yeah, it's them. Right? So that's the only one that hurts. We could have had an extra championship possibly. And we could have got the double payout. That would have been really fucking awesome. Coach would have been jumping for joy if Notre Dame lost in in a cover, but they didn't cover for us. So it is what it is there. And then I got to go back to work. I just wanted to see, there's got to be something else left up. But seriously, that Goodyear shit, got to be something big to that, man. We're going way heavier on the sponsors. Coach goes really good and deep in on the celebrities, and we definitely get some sponsors, but we're going to be more active in figuring out like exactly who's sponsoring what when, instead of just having a general idea of like all the sponsors we can find whenever we can find them. Right, so we're going to be more focused in. Let's start focusing on the sponsors of the Super Bowl and tie them into our Commanders. All right, appreciate you guys. Break.